Every so often, Ben, I just go pure fan mode. Yeah, I know I'm supposed to be analytical and I know that we're supposed to be making a TV programme, but come on. Sweet baby, Jesus and the Orphans, we are getting it. Dubois versus Joyce. Every single fan watching this right now should be absolutely buzzing because it's a fight that we've all been clambering for the best part of 12 months and we're finally getting it. And the ramifications are actually quite big as well because we don't know what's going to happen with the WBO situation with Anthony Joshua. Is he going to keep that belt? Is he going to vacate that belt? Is he going to defend it against Usyk? If it does become vacant, then Usyk's number one. Number two currently is Daniel Dubois. But if Joe Joyce can beat him, he'll surely leapfrog him and set himself up a shot at a world title at some point next year.
Yeah, I mean, it is a mouth-watering clash. And as you say, sometimes, it's my job to be technical and analytical, but sometimes I just like to sit back and enjoy it. And this is certainly going to be one of them. So I'm pleased to be a fan for this one.
Well, you can't be a fan right now, mate, because we're going to do a technical and analytical piece because that's what I've got in the script next. Is that all right? Can we go through it? Because there'll be lots of people watching this.
On the night, don't ask me any questions.
Exactly. We just want to sit back and enjoy it, mate. But right now, we need to get stuck into it because there'll be loads of fans with different opinions of how they believe this fight is going to play out. Lots of rhetoric about Daniel Dubois. He's a young guy. He's raw. He's coming through. But a lot of people believe that once the dust settles in a few years' time, once people like Tyson Fury have maybe hung it up, this will be the guy that we're all talking about as the main man in the heavyweight division. In your opinion, Ben, what does he do well?
He's obviously a real physical presence, That physicality is able to dictate right away from the get-go. And in the Gorman fight, as you see in here, he dictated from the get-go, made his physical presence known, and it was too much for Gorman to handle. A fantastic jab, fundamentally sound. He's a real threat. He's a real physical presence. Emotionally seems extremely mature emotionally. Just focused on his job at hand. And it proved to be a real tough one for Gorman, who is a very good fighter.
Yeah, he is. Listen, I've been blessed to speak to Daniel on several occasions, and every single time I speak to him, I come away thinking he's a sick man. He kind of likes inflicting pain, and I'm sure the elite level fighters, we spoke to Josh on last week's show, didn't we? Josh Taylor, that is. He's got that switch. Once it goes, there's a sickness about inflicting pain. Dubois has most certainly got it, and he kind of likes sometimes to get involved in a bit of a tear-up, as we see with the Richard Latte fight.
Yeah, I mean, again, with the Gorman fight, it was interesting because he was smart about his approach. He took his time and was in charge of when the exchanges happened. But in the Latte fight, emotions overruled, got into exchanges maybe at the wrong times, and with someone that was willing to fire back. And that's something we know. Joe Joyce will be willing to fire back. Those are the questions that people are interested in seeing being answered. How will he cope when someone's firing back? Here, he lost his shape. If that's Joe Joyce exchanging back, it could end up a different scenario.
Is that what Joe's got to do then for you? Has he got to drag him in to that type of fight?
For me, Joe's got to be the one that at some point sets the pace in the fight, makes Dubois fight at a pace that he's uncomfortable at. Joe Joyce is known for his phenomenal engine. But if you try to set a pace too early and you're involved in too many exchanges and you're letting too many shots go, you will be there to be hit. And in the Jennings fight, albeit a body shot, we saw him get hit early on. Now, if that's Dubois and that's a chin shot early on, that can be all over because he's phenomenally heavy-handed. We know Joe's heavy-handed, so he's got to be smart about how he sets the pace, how he dictates the pace, and when he dictates the pace. I think if he comes out looking for exchanges too early, it's a real risky one. But I think if he can maintain and be in the fight over the first few rounds and then start to try and set a pace that Dubois is uncomfortable with, he can ask those questions that people are looking to be answered of Dubois. How does he deal with it when someone's firing back, when someone can take what he can give and fire back, when somebody can be the dictator against him, when he's in uncomfortable situations in the second half of a fight? And, he's not having it all his own way. These are the questions that people want to see asked. And the same with Joe, you know, like I said, he's known to be a phenomenal athlete, a monster, set a ridiculous pace. But can he do that when someone's heavy-handed in front of him? We know he's got a phenomenal chin. Mm-hmm. How good is his chin? So there's so many questions that we're looking to be answered. And the intriguing thing is all the questions that are over each fighter, these are the styles to ask those questions. And that's why it's just a mouth-watering clash.
Superb analysis as ever, Ben. You've got me even more excited now, mate, about that fight. Just looking forward to, obviously, the date being finalised. November 28th, December the 5th. That's what we're working with. Keep your eyes on the BT Sport socials, as I'm sure we will be dropping that information in the not-too-distant future.